So slightly more than a week back, right, in the early of October, right, I published a video on Facebook and YouTube, right, talking about the 5 stocks that you want to look at, right, for the month of October 2020. And Apple, right, Apple is one of the stocks that I've listed. And over the past few days, right, it seems like we're seeing a bit of bullish actions coming back, and that's the reason why I want to cover this stock Apple again today, right now. And today is the 13th of October, just last night on the 12th of October, right? Apple saw quite a bit of a bullish actions, and I feel that potentially we might start to see a bit more strength coming back. So let's dive into Apple right now, right, to see where we can hit to, all right, and what are the targets that we can potentially see probably a bit of profit taking coming back again. Let's take a look at it right now. So Apple has kind of announced that they will launch their new iPhone 12, right, on the 13th of October on Tuesday, all right. And this is the reason why we saw a lot of hype coming back again, and it kind of broke one of the key level that I mentioned in the previous video, right? So let me just zoom back into where we were just slightly more than a week back on the 1st of October, right over here. We were then trading about $1.15, 1.15 right over here. So I mentioned about this really, all right, critical resistance level, and that would be the $1.20. Look at this right over here, $1.20, right? But before I dive into where we are right now, let me just look at the the longer term trend again, right? So I mentioned that the longer term trend for Apple, it looks really intact. Look at this, the red line, 100 days moving average, is pointing upwards gently. This blue line, 200 days moving average, is pointing upwards as well. In fact, we can draw, all right, what we call an upward sloping channel support line right up here. Look at this, right? It fits really nicely. Prices have been holding above this upward sloping channel support line since March this year, all right, and we've been slowly pushing higher, consolidating and finding new highs, all right. But what happens was just in September, we saw the tech sector sold off. It kind of hit a high of near about $140, and profit taking happened and started to retrace back down. But we found a bit of support coming back in about $105 to $100, all right. So I mentioned then that we were trading at about 115, but we kind of broke this $120, all right, resistance level just last night, all right, on the 12th of October, just last night. Today is the 13th of October, right over here. 13th of October is 10:18 a.m. So last night US market was trading on the 12th of October, so we kind of closed at about 124, right? So let me just reiterate the upside targets for Apple again. I think the fact that we kind of went above that 120, all right, that would be a good short-term bullish, all right, whereby we might potentially see a bit of upside towards that 130, probably a bit of resistance, but ultimately towards that 140 level. 140 was the level that we've kind of approached, and we saw profit taking in September, right, early of September. All right, so this would be Apple, I would say, in the short term, as long as we do stay above that 120 or $120. We can potentially see a bit of upside reversal starting to happen. In terms of the short-term moving average, look at this, the green line. Right? So the green line is the 20 days moving average. It was like sloping upwards, moving sideways, and that was where prices kind of broke down this green line. Look at this in September, right? We saw some heavy selling, right? So it kind of like moved sideways, pointing down. But look at it right now. You can see that this green line, the 20 days moving average, is starting to slope upwards. And more importantly, you can see that prices have gone back up above this upward sloping, all right, 20 days moving average. Of course, the red and blue line have been sloping upwards consistently all this while, but in terms of the short term, the green line is starting to like reverse back up, and of course we broke that 120 level, right, 120 resistance level, and that would be a good signal, all right, that more short-term upside can happen. Let me just pull out the MACD indicator. So I've put out the MACD indicator right at the bottom, right over here. So MACD stands for moving average convergent divergence. So it's one of the trend following momentum indicator that I use as well to kind of confirm any upside move or maybe even downside. So in this case, you can see that for this MACD indicator right over here, you can see that this blue line, right, the MACD line, the blue line have kind of crossed back above that zero mark, right, the midpoint at zero mark, and potentially, right, with this thing above zero, we could potentially see more momentum coming back for Apple, especially if we do stay above that 120 level, right? So this will be the upside for Apple. I would say in the short term, we might see a bit of profit taking coming back near 130 to 140, But so far, right, Apple is one of those really good counters to hold, all right, in the longer term, to really ride the entire trend up. I mean, it's been pretty much in the uptrend since 2-3 years back. Very, very strong uptrend in the long term. So this is one of the counters whereby in long term it looks good. Of course, in the short term we might see a bit of profit taking, come back down like what we have seen. But then buyers might come back again, bargain hunting might come back again, and that's where we can potentially see a rebound. And of course, attempting to break even higher, right? If we do see more bullish actions above that 140, we might even revise our targets higher, right? So this is Apple right over here as of the 13th of October 2020. So guys, if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It will definitely help the algorithm reach out to more people, and thank you so much for doing this, right? So if you have not subscribed to this channel, be sure to smash the notification, the bell, hit the subscribe button as well, so that you will be alerted to any counters, all right, that we share, all right, on the Singapore market, the US, and maybe even the Hong Kong market, right? So go ahead to do that, click the subscribe button, and I shall see you in the next video.